model Bar Refaeli declared that the Duke of Cambridge is the best-looking prince in the world, after meeting him in Israel last night. Prince William was introduced to the ex-girlfriend of Hollywood actor Leonardo DiCaprio, from whom she split in 2011 after 5 years together, at a garden party hosted at British Ambassador David Quarry's private residence. After meeting William in Tel Aviv, 33-year-old Bar, who wore a red VB dress, said, "He is very, very charming. I think both he and his brother are good-looking. But he is the best-looking prince in the world." It came after the Duke was greeted by young bikini-clad fans chanting Willie, Willie, as he had fun on a Tel Aviv beach as part of his tour of the Middle East yesterday. William, who wore a casual blue shirt, sunglasses and Nike trainers for a trip to Frishman Beach, had a go at local sport footvolley, and told well-wishers he wished he had packed his shorts. Admitting he was getting too old for the vigorous game of footvolley going on in front of him, he was persuaded to take one shot, kicking the ball successfully over the net. The Duke was greeted by Mayor on Huldai, who talked to him about the beach, before taking him to watch the team sport. A version of opposite volleyball, where players used their feet and heads instead of hands. It was mixed-sex teams of 5 play in their shorts. The Duke initially watched from the sidelines, deep in conversation with the mayor and clapping occasionally, before being moved on. Walking across the beach, he laughed and waved as enthusiastic locals chanted Willie, Willie, until they caught his attention. "Hey everybody," he said. He then climbed the stairs of a colorful lifeguard hut, surrounded by security, for a private conversation with lifeguards inside. As he emerged into the sunlight, full of praise for the lifeguards' work on the beach, he made an impromptu visit to shake hands with beachgoers waiting behind a barrier to see him. Saying hello, shaking hands, and asking people where they were from, he said smiled broadly as people thanked him for visiting Israel. Dahlia Black-Duboff, who brought her 3 young children to the beach, said, "He came over and said hello to the kids. I told him I was from Manchester, and he was really excited. He said it's a great city and a great beach, and he wished he had brought his shorts." The Duke went on to join surfers Shakara Haroni, Omri Hazer and Lee Korzets for local snack of watermelon and feta, discussing their sport, the environment and plastics. Local media, broadcasting live from the beach, were heard to remark on the Duke's pale skin tone, remarking with amusement that he had been offered a seat in the shade. Before he left, the Duke stopped on to congratulate the footvolley players, and pose for a photograph with them, after being talked into trying a shot himself. "Some of you guys put your foot above the net, that's so impressive. Invited to join in," he said, "I'd love to. I could kick it, or head it. If I tried to put my legs up that high I would land on my shoulder and break something. I'm not that young anymore, I'm getting old." Caught up in the spirit of things, he was persuaded to take a shot, kicking the ball narrowly over the net to players on the opposite team. He said of the game, "It's fantastic. It will bring everyone together." Strolling across the beach to his waiting car, he then departed with his entourage to prepare for this evening's garden party. Earlier, William also visited Jaffa, where he met young people involved in the work of 2 organizations focused on coexistence through football between the youngsters of different religious and ethnic communities, the Equalizer and the Perez Center for Peace. The prince scored 2 out of 3 penalty kicks against a 13-year-old goalkeeper. He attended a football event hosted by the 2 charities, and had a chance to spend time with children and teenagers involved in several of their projects, including one focused on empowering young girls. World Cup penalty shootouts are usually England's downfall, but the Duke of Cambridge showed he has the skills to help if needed. With star striker Harry Kane looking down on him from a billboard, William blasted 2 out of 3 goals during a visit to Israeli Sports Center to learn about charitable organizations using sport for support youngsters. With Israeli striker Tomer Haimt, who plays for Premier League club Brighton, Watching the second in line to the throne joked, "I'm a defender, it's going to go into the trees over there." His first strike was saved by a young goalie, but the other two hit the back of the net, and the Duke, who is president of the far and keen Aston Villa supporter, celebrated. The event at an outdoor pitch in Jaffa was staged by two charitable organizations, the Equalizer, which provides football training alongside education, while the Perez Center, founded by former Israeli President Shimon Peres to promote peace, runs an initiative using sport to bring together Jewish and Arab communities. Before he took his spot kick, William told some of the charity supporters, "The potential of sport to bring people together is huge. I'm so pleased to see something like this." The Duke chatted to groups of young children who had been playing matches before he arrived, and in the middle of one huddle he asked, "Any strikers?" When one of the coaches pointed out a little boy, a laughing William dubbed him Harry Kane. Before leaving, the Duke posed for a huge group photograph with all the children, and was given 2 football shirts, one with William, one emblazoned on the back. The Brighton striker, "I think it's amazing that these organizations give the kids a chance to play football all over the country. It's important to show that they can play together and be friends. It was a big honor to meet William. He told me he was a big football fan, and we talked a little bit about England. They've had a very good start in the World Cup, and I hope they will do well." Later, at the garden party, the prince was accompanied at the reception by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah. On arrival, the trio were shown products made by selection of tech companies. Orcam showed the prince a device that can be clipped to glasses, which has a recognition program to help the blind and partially sighted register words and objects. William put the glasses on and looked at some writing, which triggered a computer system to project the words he was reading to a speaker. He said, "That is absolutely incredible. That will help many people, I am sure. What brilliant tech." The prince was left red-faced when at one point during the demonstration Mr. Netanyahu walked away to take a phone call. William was left to make small talk with the ambassador, as Mr. Netanyahu appeared to have a heated conversation on his mobile in the next room. When the Prime Minister finally returned to join the prince, his wife Sarah said, "This is the story of being with my husband." William replied, "It's fine, absolutely fine." The group then returned their attention to a business which develops interactive game for children, in the shape of Lego blocks. William said, "George would love something like this. He would be all over it. The children are much better with tech than me. I am useless. But they would love it."